Need a mechanic you can trust? Key Auto in Pilot Point delivers honest, expert repair.
We are live. Good evening, Bearcat fans. This is the Custom Roofing and Construction Bearcat pregame show on PilotPointBearcats.com. I'm Ryan Menard in the booth tonight as a special guest. He goes by the Minister of 90s Bearcat Football, Mr. 29 himself, John Little. John, glad to have you back with me tonight.
Guess who's back? Back again. 29's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Nah. So I had to get that out of the way right away, Ryan. That was for Caleb Marsh. I know he will appreciate that. And it's absolutely great to be back with you here on the big, beautiful Bearcat broadcast. As you know, you never want to become the starter due to injury, but due to Nordy's major case of gout flare-up this week, here I am. And I'll do my best to overcome my early 90s CTE, provide some color tonight, although I did hear Nordy's in-depth commentary on how to defend the screen pass last week, and I'm fairly confident I can add a little something to the conversation.
Yeah, I remember when I ended that, I go, okay, a color man with no color. The sad thing is he had it written down on his paper in front of him and just forgot to read it.
It happens.
As we try to rebound from that, Pilot Point rebounded from their loss in Lindsay with a strong showing last week with a 61-13 win over the Howell Bulldogs. That matchup wrapped up non-district play for the Bearcats, and tonight they enter district play with a record of 3-1. That's a stark improvement over their 0-4 record last year they going into district. So 3-1, how might that propel the Bearcats into district, and what might the Bearcats need to be aware of with that taking that big step forward?
Yeah, Ryan, well, last season, Coach Worrell was just trying to get these guys to believe in and implement his proven system of winning football. And I know it's a proven system because Coach Worrell grew up in and was mentored by some of the best coaches like Jerry Jones, Lenny Gray, Coach Rick Jones, and, of course, Coach G.A. Moore Jr. And, I played in that system as well, and it works, and you win a lot more than you lose. And once you get that system in place and the thing is rolling, the entire community and the team really gets behind you, and it has a snowball effect. And as they say, winners find a way to win. And with that comes with these higher expectations. So they just have to continue to work hard and take things one play at a time.
Yeah, last week, Nordy and I highlighted how the Bearcats need to get back to spreading the touches around like they did early in the season. And last week, the Bearcats did just that with 9 different Bearcats getting touches, 5 different Bearcats finding the end zone. How does the number of Bearcats getting touches make them harder to prepare for? And how can that help their horses like Cade David and Josh Chumley as the season progresses?
Yeah, it really just makes things more difficult to scout for and prepare for the other team. The more weapons you develop throughout the season really benefits and opens up options for the entire team. It takes the pressure off kids like Chumley, which we know to be as the go-to guy, and defenses can't just game plan just to stop Chumley. It gives coaches more confidence to open up the playbook, and of course, if adversity strikes in one area, somebody goes down with an injury or whatever, you can quickly adjust and rely on others on the team. So like my junior year back in '92, we had 3 1,000-yard rushers, and we had Derek Jones, William Clark, and Brett Renfro, not to mention the golden arm of one Chad Cole, now the head coach and athletic director of Frisco Reedy. But it helped us to be very successful having all those weapons.
Yeah, well, the Bearcats have weapons. Josh Chumley, 387 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's got 11 yards per carry. Caden David, 381 yards and 6 touchdowns on 13.5 yards a carry. But guys like David Pickrell, 12.5 yards per carry. Only 14 carries, but 12.5 yards per carry. Hunter Newman, 17 yards per carry on 8 carries. Both those guys have 2 touchdowns. So while the Bearcats lean on their horses, they have a lot of different options to go to when they need a big play. Tonight will be only the second meeting between Pilot Point and Dallas Madison. Last year, the Bearcats entered this matchup looking for their first win of the year, and they got it. And that win ended a streak of 15 straight losses for the Bearcats. The Bearcats used that win to get things turned around and led them into sneaking into the playoffs and upsetting Bahia in the first round of the playoffs. This year, they're entering the game 3-1, but it means nothing in regards to the playoffs. So how important it is to block out the record so far and understand you're going into district play with a fresh start. How important it is to get off to a good start here tonight.
Yeah, Ryan, in our conversation with Coach Worrell this week, we talked specifically about that. Last season, our Bearcats were just trying their best to change the culture back to the winning ways that you and I and the majority of Bearcat fans are accustomed to seeing. And Coach Worrell told us that he and the coaching staff are really focused this week on keeping the boys humble, starting out district play just like they have a 0-0 record. And I absolutely think that that's the right approach going into district play, as we want to be cautiously optimistic. You never want your team to go in overconfident and overlook any opponent in high school football in Texas. Shout out Mahia, as you mentioned. So stay humble. Don't get a case of the big head. Speaking of big head, I'm reminded of Nordy growing up. That was my nickname for him, Big Head Chris. And as I can tell, he stretched out these headphones quite a bit.
Yeah, he does have a big head for sure. But talking about overlooking and getting overconfident, Dallas Madison has a few weapons, and if you get overconfident, they can really take advantage of that. And that's something we'll dive into more next in the next segment. You're listening to the Custom Roofing and Construction Bearcat pregame show. We're going to get a commercial break and come back and get a look at Dallas Madison.
Hi, I'm Greg Pelzel. Here at Pelzel Printing, we do custom embroidery, custom screen printing, and promotional product. You can reach Greg Pelzel at 940-453-5443. Go Bearcats.
Life is full of steps. We learn to take small steps and big steps. We take steps toward adventure, to keep growing. Steps to build a future, to discover what's next. This is banking at its best. This is banking forward.
Pilot Point, your new hangout is here. Moto and Latte, where coffee meets community. From handcrafted espresso to fresh roasted beans, it's the fuel to your road ahead. Come and see us at 110 East Liberty Street in downtown Pilot Point.
Looking for insurance coverage you can count on? Shannon Stevens at Hutcherson Insurance Group makes protecting what matters simple. Be it business coverage, life insurance, home and auto, or group health, he's got you covered with his personalized service and trusted advice. Call Shannon today at 940-395-1181 to get started.
Need a mechanic you can trust? Key Auto in Pilot Point delivers honest, expert repairs without the dealership prices. From routine maintenance to tricky fixes, they get right the first time. Locally owned, highly rated, and always fair. Stop by Key Auto today, where your car and your wallet are in good hands. 608 North Washington Street in Pilot Point.
And now we're back on the Custom Roofing and Construction Bearcat pregame show for our first look at the Dallas Madison Trojans. Madison is picked to finish 6th in our District 6 3A Division 1. Madison returned 14 players from last year's 2-8 team, but only 8 starters combined on both sides of the ball. This season, Madison has started off 1-3, but they've played exclusively 4A and 5A opponents so far. In that meantime, it hadn't necessarily fared well for them. They've allowed 40 points per game while only scoring 19.5 for themselves. Madison runs their offense out of the spread. They like to keep the concepts pretty simple, and they like to keep the play calling balanced. But Coach Worrell said when they throw it, they like to throw it deep. He anticipates the first play of the game that they're in man. They're going to try to hit a deep connection, so we got to look out for that. But looking out for that, Pilot Point is kind of ball hawked in the secondary this season. 3 interceptions, 2 of those returned from touchdowns, and I did the numbers this morning. They've only seen 35 pass attempts. They've only defended 35 pass attempts so far in the year, 3 of which they've intercepted. What's the biggest thing for that secondary to look for against this Dallas Madison offense?
Well, like you mentioned, Ryan, I would expect them to try to use their speed out of the spread offense, try to get guys in the open field and throw the deep ball. They have a pretty basic offense with only a handful of plays so far this season. But I think we have to be ready for the trick plays, of course, because they're the underdog in this contest tonight. So anytime you have a sizable underdog like that, you can kind of expect them to throw a wrinkle in and kind of throw the kitchen sink at us. So look for a reverse, maybe a flea flicker. But ultimately, Dallas Madison is really looking for the big chunk plays offensively. They got a great wide receiver who's got a ton of speed. And speaking of big chunk, shout out again, Nordy. Uncle John is wishing you a speedy recovery from that nasty case of the gout, Nordy.
The Trojans will be quarterbacked by junior quarterback, number 7, Randy Hudson. He's listed at 6'1", 175, an athlete, 4.6 speed. And Hudson's number 1 weapon is number 4, Adarian Alexander. Through the air, Alexander has 3 times as many catches as the next closest guy on the team, 24 receptions so far. Coach Worrell talked about the connection between Hudson and Alexander, gave us some more details about their background. So tell us a little bit more about that, John.
Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. I understand that both quarterback, number 7, and wide receiver, he's number 4, could both end up playing at the next level. They both played a season for Bishop Dunn 2 years ago and then sat out of playing tackle football last year. These guys are a dynamic duo with great chemistry. quarterback, Randy Hudson, he's got a real strong arm. He throws a deep ball with accuracy. He's got the ability to extend plays and shows good leadership presence on the field. The Bearcat defense will need to put pressure on him all night long and force him into making some mistakes. And their explosive playmaker is the 6-foot, 180-pound wide receiver, free safety, athlete. They'll line him up all over the field. He's a junior, number 4, Darian Alexander. He won the 100-yard dash at district track meet last year. This guy has speed, agility, ball skills, and versatility. Expect him to be lined up at wide receiver and even some running back, on offense. And defensively, mainly plays free safety. It's going to be fun to watch this guy tonight, and I'm really curious to see if Pilot Point sticks to the press coverage on this kid on the outside. I would expect us to provide blanket coverage over the top all night. Otherwise, he's likely to get behind our secondary once or twice.
I asked Coach Worrell this week about the size up front for Dallas Madison. He said that they had some big kids up front, but seeing them warm up on the field, they did have that size, but I think the thing that might get them is I counted only 6 linemen down in the positional groups down there. So what they have in size, they may have a little bit of trouble with conditioning through 4 quarters tonight, especially at which the pace Pilot Point likes to put on them when they run the football and making them chase all over the field. So that's going to be a challenge for them, but being undersized, it's going to matter most in the beginning of this game, and Pilot Point needs to jump out on them and try to take advantage of that. What can the Bearcats do to combat being undersized?
Yeah, my last name may be Little, Rhines, but I've always been big, so I have no idea how to overcome being undersized. And you are literally the big 5-0, so you have the same issue, right? Yeah. We may need to phone a friend on this one, or maybe even bring in T. Slay. I know he was here earlier to talk about being undersized. But I kid. Speaking of T, though, it really comes down to the 2 T's, technique and tenacity. And, we've got scrappy linemen with great technique and a big heart. And as I say, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. So determination, heart, and grit, that's Pilot Point Bearcat football, and that's what I expect to see from our linemen. And like you said, their linemen might be a little short-staffed.
That's been the common theme in the 3 Bearcat wins is the effort that the Pilot Point front 7 plays with on defense and the offensive linemen getting after the ball. I'm constantly seeing Bearcat defenders in the backfield making plays, and that's been the common theme of their 3 wins. So if they want to continue that tonight, we will need to see more of that. This is the Custom Roofing and Construction Bearcat pregame show on pilotpointbearcats.com, and we come back, we'll take a look at some keys to victory tonight.
Nick's Italian Restaurant in Pilot Point serves authentic New York-style pizza, fresh pastas, and other Italian favorites, all based on his family recipes from Queens, New York. Nick will always treat you like family, whether you dine in, take out, or cater. Taste the tradition and feel the hospitality at Nick's Italian in Pilot Point.
For over 40 years, Chandler Cabinets has been crafting top-quality cabinets with unmatched craftsmanship and innovation. From concept to completion, their award-winning designs bring style and function to every space. Experience excellence built to last. Visit chandlercabinets.net or find them on Facebook. Chandler Cabinets, over 40 years of excellence.
With over 40 years experience, DC David Construction LLC delivers expert craftsmanship in metal buildings, cement work, remodels, painting, and more. Big or small, every job is done with professionalism and pride. Fully insured and ready to quote. Call 940-390-8656 today.
The Pilot Point Feed Store is a locally owned and family-run business established in 2003. The Shawn family's experience and exceptional service are unmatched. They carry a large selection of feeds for all animals. While there, visit their retail department and boutique for name brand clothing, ranch supplies, deer feeders, grills, home decor, and more. Pilot Point Feed, it's more than just a feed store.
Point Bank is proud to support the Pilot Point Bearcats football season. Open your free e-checking account. No monthly service charge, no minimal balance. Just enroll in e-statements and show your Bearcat pride with the custom Point Bank school logo debit card. Visit pointbank.com to learn more. Point Bank, it's not just banking, it's point banking. Member FDIC. Looking for the perfect lawn without the hassle? Perfect Turf has you covered. From expert weed control and premium fertilization to full sod installation and artificial turf that looks lush year-round. We bring the green so you don't have to. Visit perfectturftx.com for more information.
You're listening to the Custom Roofing and Construction Bearcat pregame show. We talked about Madison being on the wrong side of a 20-point per game point differential. Pilot Point's been on the exact opposite side of that to start the season. Pilot Point is up their offensive output to 43.5 points per game while being stingy on defense, only allowing 16.25 points per game, giving them a point differential of over 27 points per game. How can the Bearcats keep playing complementary football and keep those averages on both sides tonight?
Yeah, like you alluded to earlier, Ron, I think Pilot Point needs to keep using and developing all of our weapons. Of course, Josh Chumley is, no secret, he's our go-to running back. And, I really like David Pickerel and Hunter Newman's abilities to make big plays all over the field. Garrett Evans continues to be solid at quarterback, and there are plenty of unsung heroes like Ashton Williamson and Michael Marsh that are capable of making things happen. Defensively tonight, we just continue to play sound gang tackle, keep relentless pressure on their QBs, and don't let number 4 run loose. If that happens, I expect to see this game ended up in Pilot Point's favor in a big way.
Yeah, we're either about to do the national anthem or a prayer here, I think. Once school song, we're going to keep rolling then over that. Wanted to make sure we weren't talking over a prayer or the national anthem. But, John, entering this matchup last season, Pilot Point was trying to get their first win of the season, first win in 15 or 16 attempts. That pressure of finally getting off that bad side of that streak is gone. The Bearcats are playing free and easy to this point of the season. We've talked about it in years past with you and I. Nordy and I mentioned it earlier this season, breaking the season into 3 parts. Non-district being like preseason, and then district play starts. District is where you make your money. This is where you start having to stack wins to achieve your goals. What are some goals, realistic goals, that should be on the Bearcats' minds for tonight?
Yeah, I think number 1 is always keep everybody healthy and win the game, obviously. Ultimately, we want to see the Bearcats come out similar to last week, like they did against Howell, establish the Bearcat running game, get an early lead, and keep building on that. Limit their penalties and turnovers, kind of clean up a couple things from last week, and then limit Dallas Madison from getting any big plays and any early confidence and momentum. If we get some backups in the game and some other guys some reps in the second half, that's the ideal situation. And that would get us off to a great start in district, set up a real tough game next week against an undefeated Palmer Bulldog team that's averaging a 50-burger offensively through 4 games.
Yeah, so last question on the pregame show here, similar to the old 3 keys we used to do. But if tomorrow morning you woke up and you didn't see the game and all you got was the box score with no final score, what stat would you look at that would give you the best indication of a Bearcat win?
Yeah, I'd expect somebody with severe gout like Nordy, obviously, would pick out something like rushing yards. Pretty obvious, right? But for me, I'm going to have to say time of possession in this one, Ryan. Of course, run-heavy teams tend to have longer possessions and keep the clock running, and I believe that would mean that the Bearcats, if that time of possession is established in our favor, then we've had a dominant ground game and we've kept Madison off the field. So the TOP, time of possession battle, that's the key stat for me, and if that heavily favors our Bearcats, I feel good with the outcome.
Absolutely, time of possession would really lean in our favor, and against Madison, since they only had 5 or 6 linemen dressed, now might be a good opportunity with 10.5 minutes of game time to show maybe some of the replays, some of the highlights last week. Here's this first one is one of the early touchdowns of the game. Caden David getting the right end zone, got us started off early in the first quarter. Caden David continuing that angry running style, looking for contact every chance he gets, every time he gets the ball. This is the play we asked Coach Worrell about, trying to get the ball in the running back's hands as quickly as possible. Smash play to Josh Chumley up the middle. Stacking touchdowns this year, Josh Chumley. Back here trying to get the edge. But look at Caden David refusing to go down on the first tackle, and he makes what should have probably been a tackle for loss into a big play. Touchdown for the Bearcats.
Looked like an old McKinney sweep. I like that one.
Yeah, that rocking the all-orange last week. This is the Anthony Torres first field goal of the season. 30-yard field goal, good right through the middle. And this got us started with the huge Michael Marsh block out on the open field, pancake, springing Hunter Newman for an 85-yard touchdown. Basically, first offensive touch in the second half, I think. First time we touched the ball, we took an onside kickback for a touchdown. Second time we touched the ball, 85 yards right up the gut. Hunter Newman springing a big play. Him and David Pickrell not getting as many touches, but it seems like every time they get it, they're fresh and they spring something big. More traditional here. This was big number 2 for the Bearcats. Ashton Williamson getting his touchdown in. Right side end zone for the Bearcats. You can see all of these highlights through the week at PilotPointBearcats.com on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. You get updates when we go live on Friday nights, no matter where we are. You also get these highlights throughout the week, clips, so you can view them numerous times. This replay playing is the David Pickrell kick return that was just a backbreaker for Howe, who started off the second half with the kickoff for their own for a touchdown, and we come right back with the onside kick return for the touchdown. David Pickrell, one of 2 huge second half touchdowns that led to his Texas New Mexico Power Player of the Game award.
This is Patricia.
Really came to play in the second half. He's just a sophomore and been making big plays every week. They've even lined him up in the Wildcat quarterback a handful of times.
Yeah, he's a good-looking player.
Following up that onside kick return for a touchdown, I believe this is going to be him jumping out in the flat, interception that he takes back for the second defensive touchdown of the year for the Bearcats.
Call.
Secondary, first one earlier this year, I believe, was Hunter Newman. This time, David Pickrell.
Good job tight-roping that sideline right there.
Coach Worrell told us earlier this week that they were really ready for that play, and they actually had 2 defenders on it, one underneath, one over top. David Pickrell being the one underneath, taking it back. And this is the big 40-yard touchdown pass from Garrett Evans to Stuckley right there. Cade Stuckley with his first touchdown reception of the year. And the Bearcats getting ready to take the field with their new pyrotechnics. The Cats are digging for gold tonight. The atmosphere at Massey Stadium is really coming along. It's a fun place to be here, watch a football game on Friday nights. And here they come down the sideline, entering the field. And while we watch the Bearcats, they're going to let you watch them take the field. Dallas Madison take the field in a second. We'll get the prayer and the national anthem. And then we'll come back for a Bearcat football kickoff. We'll look over the weather and what each team's look their sport tonight. This was the Custom Roofing and Construction Bearcat pregame show. Thanks for being with us.
Serving Pilot Point since 1878, the Post-Signal is your trusted source for hometown news. From local sports and school events to community milestones, we cover what matters most. Stay connected and subscribe today at postsignal.com.
First down, Caden David. Is he going to take it all the way? Hunter Newman's going to take this one to the house. 5-point touchdown. He's going to break one and get in the end zone. No Warriors stopping on that one. He absolutely ran through number 64. And Kickle says he got too late to add my way. Great finish to a great run. We're back here with the coin flip. Captains for the Pilot Point Bearcats, Ashton Williamson, Garrett Evans, Julio Almonger, and Preston Atkins are going to be your Bearcat captains. Captains for the Madison Trojans, Broderick Brown, Randy Hudson, Nicholas Davis, and DeKevion Brown. Hey, I went dead. All right. Kevion Brown for the Madison Trojans. And we'll see who's their referee is showing them the coin now, getting ready to see who wins this toss. Pilot Point has won the toss and has elected to defer. So barring any mistake for Dallas Madison, they will be taking the opening kickoff of this ball game. So we're going to get to see Randy Hudson and a Darian Alexander right off the bat.
Yes, sir.
The Kevin Brown.
John, it's a beautiful night here. Massey Stadium. What's the weather?
Is, Ryan. Yeah, so we're sitting at 78 degrees and clear. It's a really beautiful night. It's going to get down to about 73 by 10 p.m. So 78 and clear, perfect evening for Bearcat